Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, You're Being Creepy Again. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. If you're a first-time viewer, we do a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything, so be warned. And of course, if you're not able to watch this live and you're watching this after the fact, you can always submit questions as an email. It is in the description below, Kris@wayofthebrush. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send them off as links to other sites because I won't bother doing it. So attach the pictures, please. Please. And of course, in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness. Has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We've really built a great community there. Everybody's really super helpful. So if you need help, immediately, or you just want to talk about whatever, feel free to join us on Discord, as we have many channels to chit-chat with everybody, and it's a lot of fun, and everybody's been really great there, and, it's really been fantastic. WayToBrush.com also has links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at WayToBrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon support. Want to help support the channel? Help me continue to do what I do, which is educate and inform and sometimes entertain. Patreon is how I do it. I'm independent these days, so this is pretty much how I keep this show rolling and keep the channel going, and all these other things. And so there are varying tiers to support at on Patreon, and click one that suits you, and thank you very much. And of course, a huge thank you to all my patrons who currently support me, and a bunch of you just joined up recently, and so a huge thank you and welcome to you guys. I hope I continue to warrant your patronage. And of course, if you're not able to support by Patreon, monetarily, of course, i.e. money, clicking thumbs up, liking, following, subscribing, and all that other YouTube and Twitch goodness, social medias all help the channel tremendously as well. So, and all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. So, much love there. Big thank you to Carl, aka Guymere Alfer, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take the time to thank Carl for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segments of the show. And so, always much love for Carl. And of course, speaking of love, big thank you to my baby brother, Evan, for creating the intro-outro music that plays before and end of the show. Big thank you to him. I've only recently started including him. I've always had him in my credits, but I've only been recently thanking him because, you gotta thank the people who, really help you out. And so, always much love to my baby brother. So today, we're going to talk a little bit, maybe a little bit, about Games Workshop's big Warhammer 40,000 9th edition reveal today. I did a little stream earlier, so if you want to check that out, feel free to check that out. I don't know what this is, go back in time, I guess. I don't know. But either way, it was pretty cool. First impression, 9th edition, awesome. Great. It's been, 3 years since 8th edition came out? And I really enjoyed 8th edition. I played a lot of Warhammer 40,000. I think 6th and 7th, I kind of was just kind of keeping track of things. And it just, because it was so bloated. The rules, I had to bring all these books with you. And it was really bloated. 8th edition rolls around. It seemed at the time like a real oversimplification of the rules. But as you got into it, like any good kind of rule system, it'll be simple to grasp, yet difficult to master. And I think Warhammer 40,000 is definitely falling within that category. Same with Age of Sigmar, because they're similar rule sets. But 9th edition, I'm glad to see that, at least they're not changing everything. They did say in the reveal that your rule books and stuff like that will still be relevant, and I think that's very important. I think people these days are kind of tired of, when we get an edition change, it deletes all the rule books, and you know what I mean, and you pretty much have to start over again. Whereas, like if they really want to produce a new codex, obviously they can just reprint a codex with all the new rules and of course new models, and you know what I mean. And if they want to update the story for the codexes, and you know what I mean, like they're still free to produce codexes, but it kind of honks people off when like when they went from second edition to third edition, and even Rogue traded to second edition, and you had to get a whole new rule set and everything like that, and get codexes, and then of course third edition rolls around, and you know what I mean, all those previous rules no good, this is new rule set, you know what I mean, like, and so like people I think were pretty tired of that kind of thing. Whereas if an edition change comes along, the previous edition's rules still pretty much work. But I mean, mind you though, like 8th edition to 9th edition looks like it's going to be, fairly similar rule set. Obviously, with some tweaks here and there. Obviously, flyers, vehicles shooting out of combats, terrain, blasts, all sorts of stuff. So we're going to talk about that stuff today, for the most part, along with the other, the usual silliness that we delve into. I can see Ebb and Flow joining us. Sup, everybody? Telenator, howdy, y'all. Dr. Xantos, hello. George Hintz over on Twitch, hello. Saleswoman from Hell, oh, I'm right on time. Dave Patalia, there he is. Hey, Kris. Hey, Dave. Disflux, hey, yo. Dave, hello, monkeys, hello. Charles Sales, hello, monkeys. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Links are banned, except for when Kris wants the link, and you won't give it to him. Yeah. Well, because I mean, it just stops, scammers from, posting stuff and just needless links, and I mean, like it's not what I wanted it all about, right? Kevin Cabal, hello, happening hobbyist. Hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is well. Ariel Szynski, hi Kris, hi everyone. Hello, Ghost Star Man Deluxe. Hey, watch on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. If you're cross-eyed, you can have both windows up, and if you're cross-eyed, I'll be perfectly in focus. I've been meaning to update that on the website, because apparently I can do it as a one widget type of thing, and it'll just be, you know what I mean, like the one thing. I was thinking about doing that, so I might update the website. Maybe I might do it today if I've got time. I don't know. I got some stuff to do after the show today, so I'm aiming for 2:00 today, 2-hour show. That's it. Bang. 120 minutes, right? 120 minutes of the most informative, entertaining. It's a pretty bold claim to make, to begin with, but whatever. James Kent, morning, Kris. Morning, everyone. Saleswoman from Hell. That mustache sure is looking shinier than usual, or is it just me? It might be just the way the light's catching, and the way I have it curled. But yeah, I usually use the same product all the time. If anybody wants to know what I use for my mustache, it's called Firehouse Wax. It's a company out of, I believe, Mississippi. They produce it, and they've got I think 3. They got a light, they got a dark, and then they got tacky. And tacky is what I use. I don't use the regular wax because I find that it's a little too hard. Although if I wanted to get some really tight curls, I suppose that I could use the hard, and that way it just, I can really sculpt it, as it were. But I like tacky because it's kind of free flowing. But mind you though, sometimes hairs go off in different directions. But anyway. Nick Fink, hello everyone, hello. Ghost Star Man Deluxe, I was hoping to see more models, particularly annoyed that they didn't do a full reveal of the Silent King. Yeah, well, they got to keep everybody pumped, and I mean, you got to keep the hype trains rolling, right? So, I mean, I can see why they don't, just hear what he is and what he looks like. I mean, he's probably going to be huge, right? Because they've been going with these big multi-part type of kits, and so I'm sure it's going to look fantastic. I'm pretty curious to see what it looks like. I'm not even a big Necron fan. I like the new Necrons. They revealed Necrons. They revealed Primaris with chainswords, close combat Primaris. New book by Guy? What's his last name? Guy something. I'm not familiar with him anyway, but new book. What else was there? There was something else. I'm completely blanking already. Oh, and they showed off the 9 things about what changes with the new edition of Warhammer, which I'm perfectly okay with. The big ones were like flyers, tanks, terrain. Those are the big ones, and I'm glad that those were. Guy Haley, thank you, Paul Wood. Guy Haley. Yeah, I'm glad that they got around to addressing that stuff. Again, I mean, me as an avid Eldari player, I was a little disappointed that, obviously we're not getting, there's no teasers even about new Eldari models, updates, whatever. So, whenever Games Workshop's saying, we're doing a big reveal and here's previews of stuff, and unless it's Eldari related, I'm not interested, And more Space Marines? All right, more Space Marines. Okay, whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, for most part, 9th edition, yeah, I am looking forward to this latest edition of Warhammer. Another one was the command points. The command points were changed as well for game sizes, I believe was what it was. But yeah, so I'm excited. Mad Mark, yo, Dave Battaglia, super chat, $1.99 US, shoves more dollars in Kris's G-string. Work it, baby, work it. Or no, shake it, baby. Anyway. Duke Nukem. Anyway. Paul Wood. Think the new rules and changes make sense and seem right on paper. Excited to see it all in action. Same. I mean, once we all have it in our hands and we can play some games and, and check this new edition out, we'll all have our, opinions. And of course, some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it, and I mean, that's just, with anything, right? So, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of haters. I mean, I'm excited for it, even though it had a startling lack of Eldari updates. But, I'm still excited for it. Nick Marchand, I'm always excited when I catch this live. Awesome. I'm glad you guys look forward to this because, it's good to get that feedback. Not that I'm fishing for compliments or anything like that, although I am fishing for compliments, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. Fishing for compliments, anyway. Jeez. James Kent, the Silent King looks amazing. Yeah. It's interesting. It looks like it's like some sort of, Necron doodad that has a Satan, enslaved. I think that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what this model looks like. It'll be pretty interesting. Eric Fountain, morning. Kris and Monkey, morning. Saleswoman from Hell, Guy Pearce. It was Guy Pearce. Yeah, it was Guy Pearce. I said it during the stream. When I saw him, I was like, oh, he looks like the dean from Community with a beard. He looked like the dean from Community. If you ever, I can't remember what the actor's name is, but yeah. Then of course, Buddy. And then they were talking about they have a new coordinator for the events. I can't remember his name now. He's the coordinator for Nova, and he's going to be part of the Warhammer community team. I thought that was kind of cool too. He looked like Harry Shearer. Spinal Tap, Simpsons, notoriety. Anyway. Dave Battaglia, Guy Smiley. Yeah, it's Guy Smiley. He's a Muppet. Holy man, what's his name? Toal? I think it would be Toll? Anyway, 1982. I suspect we will get monthly 40k 9th edition preview streams until release, given that Games Workshop can't do their usual show previews. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the environment we're in. I mean, they're dealing with it. They're adapting. And they might find it more cost-effective to do it this way than, actually going to cons and, you know what I mean? Like, this kind of thing because, well, they don't have to go anywhere. Right? And they still get tons of views and, still gets plenty of hype. And I'm sure as the hype train keeps on rolling, that probably turns into a lot of sales for them, a lot of interest, and, all eyes on them, right? So even when we get back to somewhat of a normal type of thing with conventions and such, they might still attend, they might not. I have no idea. I guess it's all up to the bean counters, I suppose. A lot of these things, right? When you're dealing with businesses, it's always up to the bean counters as far as whether or not it's worth it or not. Kilo 8878. Hi, Kris and Monkeys. Hi, Kilo. Arturo Potet. I mean, the minis and rules were all right, but the meeting was boring as hell. The meeting was, well, it's a little dry. I don't know if I'd go as far as boring. Mind you, when I was streaming it, I was barely paying attention. Oh, man. But anyway, Travis H. New Necrons as well. They also mentioned the new Crusade campaign that lets you level up characters. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool too. I thought that was really cool. More campaign type stuff, definitely, right? Because more campaign stuff helps narrative gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, it helps, obviously, you know, when you've spent time on like a kill team or whatever, and you can bring those kill team models into your regular 40k army, and, you know, and he's a character and he can have his own little rules, and you know what I mean? And it gets you involved, it gets you excited into the game, and that's always very, very important. Immersion's always very important. And when you're playing on, you know, crap tables with crap terrain, and, you know, buddy's army's not painted, and, you know what I mean, you just lose immersion, and it's, you know, it's not as fun. It's not as fun. I'm sure there's plenty of people who enjoy the game just as much, you know, when they're thinking about position of pieces. You know what I mean? It's like playing chess. The game board can look different, be different sizes. Pieces can be different themes, but it's still chess, and some people enjoy the strategic elements of the game itself rather than the aesthetics. And that's fine. That's fine. For me personally, I'm a visual kind of person, and I like the visual aesthetic. The table should always be, you know, really kick-ass. The armies on both sides should be, you know, painted. They don't have to be Golden Demon standards or anything like that, but, you know, at least painted, right? At least a base coat and the base is done, and, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so, yeah. It helps with immersion. I mean, you know, it makes the game more fun. And then when other people see you having fun playing this, they go, geez, what are they playing? That looks like fun. I want to have fun too. And they jump in, and you got a new player. And more players is always better, because, you know, if it's only, like, say, 5 guys or girls, whatever, you know, you got 5 players all the time, and everybody kind of knows each other and knows their tactics, knows what kind of secrets, and, oh, they picked up a new model, and, oh, I already knew that this was coming in this game, you know what I mean? And when you have new people, it's all the time. It's like, oh, okay, well, they had this guy. And then, of course, you know, you find new friends, and you might find other interests outside of wargaming, you know, and you start hanging out with these other people. They might like reading the same books, or seeing the same movies, or, you know, doing the same activities, and, you know what I mean? Excuse me. So, you know, more people is always better. Now, mind you, in this social distancing era we're living in, I mean, you know, it puts a bit of a dampener on the whole aspect of meeting new people, but, you know, hopefully we can move past it. Sir Peanut Butter, morning peeps and Kris, morning. Ghost Starman Deluxe, Guy Fieri, famous GW author. You know, I'm not a big Guy Fieri fan. I'm not a big fan of that guy. He just annoys me, and I've watched the show plenty of times because my daughter and my wife, you know, enjoyed like that one show that he did on Food Network, you know, where he's going to diners and dives and, you know, stuff like that. And the freaking guy was always putting his finger in the food. And he's always like, he'd eat something with the spoon, put it in his mouth, and then he'd dunk in again. And it's like, dude, like, you're putting your whole mouth in that freaking bowl. Like, come on, man. Like, jeez. Yeah, that dude just always kind of just, you know, he's annoying. He annoys me. He triggers me. Ebb and Flow, bringing the grimdark to Flavor Town. Extra flames. Man. Arturo Petit, Warhammer, becoming D&D more and more every day. Well, Rogue Trader was more of a role-playing game than it was a tabletop war game. So, if anything, with Warhammer 40,000 becoming more like, you know, first edition Rogue Trader, it's just going back to its roots. And I mean, you know, I think that's fine. I'm fine with that, you know, becoming more immersive, you know, because if you want to play it like chess, or you want to play it like D&D, or somewhere in between, man, that's kind of a best of both worlds as far as I'm concerned, you know. Hell, that sounds exciting to me, you know. If you can play the game like a strategy game where it's hardcore strategy. You can play with it just as models, enjoy the universe as models and action figures and stuff like that, right? Or you can enjoy it as books and, you know, stories, novels, you know. You can enjoy it that way, or you can enjoy it as like a D&D session role play kind of thing. And of course, you know, we already have like Death Watch and, you know, Rogue Trader and stuff like that. But if you could have it all as combined as one, the entire immersive experience, that'd be cool too. So, I think it's very interesting, and it's kind of exciting where everything kind of goes from this point out. Other than the only thing that would kind of piss me off is no new Eldari models. Games Workshop, you got to get off your ass on that one. I want new Eldari. I want proper new Eldari. I want you to stay with Jess Goodwin's original work concepts, but give us new things. Like Jane Czar and the new Banshees, I think are fantastic, and I think that's, a step in the right direction, and I want to see more of that, Jabba's Left Nut. Boring. That's a bit rude. That's how we English showing our excitement. Yeah, is that excitement? Yeah. Because like watching Eddie in those videos and stuff, like Eddie seems like a difficult person to read, like when he's excited or not. So I don't know. I've met him a few times. It's like, oh hi, how's it going? And he kind of smiles, and he's a hard cat to read. Arturo Patet. Oh, he's talking about I don't know what the hell he's talking about there. I don't know, Latinos, skin, morning coffee, nude coffee, beans. What? Matthew Perez, he actually met a couple of dudes out of our museum aircraft carrier USS Lexington during another event. Turned out to be part of Escalation League. Looking forward to playing them again. Oh, you actually met a couple of people outside the museum. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's right on. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, like, it's amazing how many people actually are into this hobby and, are familiar with Warhammer 40,000 or even big fans of it, it's coming out of the woodwork, and, it's becoming more and more prevalent. And I think, in recent years, especially with Games Workshop obviously loosening the reins on their social medias, as well as, branching out into, other media, doing the Funkos, doing the animations, working with many, many different producers of various, IPs, or not IPs, but various other, merchandising and stuff like that. I think that's really cool, and it gets the aesthetic out there and everything, right? That's really cool. Mad Mac reminds me of BattleTech and Mech Warriors. I didn't play too much BattleTech back in the day. Are we talking like the video game or the tabletop? But yeah, I never played much BattleTech. I used to play Star Trek. Star Trek was a lot of fun. Pencil and paper Star Trek. That's hardcore nerd. Being in Star Trek and in any shape or form labels you like a big rubber stamp nerd. Dr. Xantos, I welcome these new additions to 40K if it adds people playing and hopefully making existing players be more diverse in their playing. Oh, definitely. Yeah, Mad Mock tabletop. Okay. Yeah, I didn't play much of the tabletop. Yeah. But yeah, definitely, Dr. Xantos, yeah. More people makes this all the more better, more exciting, more versatile. Even if you had 10 players, right, in a gaming group and everybody was Space Marines, you would think that'd be kind of boring. But if everybody was different Space Marines, that'd be kind of interesting, But usually that's not the case. Usually you end up with somebody who goes, oh yeah, I like the Tyranids because the bugs, Oh, I like the Necrons because, Undead, and, Eldar because I like elves, and Dark Eldar because I like perverted elves, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you get different people, different aesthetics, and of course, it all comes together and enriches and, makes the hobby better, because everybody who's a Space Marine player, oftentimes they are of a particular mindset, and they like the idea of the heroes against the villains kind of thing. And, to have a really good hero, you need good villains, right? And that's why, I don't know why Games Workshop spends so much time on developing Space Marines, developing the heroes, apparently, and not developing their villains, right? Because the Space Marines need good villains. And, they need Necrons, they need Eldar, they need Dark Eldar, they need Tyranids, they need Orcs, you know what I mean? Like, they need more of these, and they got to flush them out, and, and make them more prominent. And, because because that's your hero, that's your poster child, right? Inquisitor. It wasn't Star Trek. It was Starfleet Battles. It was Starfleet Battles. Okay, excuse the hell out of me. It's been like 30 years since I played it, man. Torben Cast. Oh, I'm not even gonna say that last name. But it isn't Starfleet an entity in the Star Trek universe? Isn't Starfleet an entity in Star Trek universe? Yeah, Starfleet Battles, and Starfleet is Star Trek. Yeah, Starfleet Battles. It's Star Trek, but the game was called Starfleet Battles. It wasn't called Star Trek, but it was in the Star Trek universe. I'm sorry, we're arguing over the finer points, and that's how you know we're getting into a proper nerd discussion. Inquisitor, yeah, it is. Just saying what the name was for those who want to know. Yeah, Starfleet Battles. It was pencil and paper, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. If you like micromanaging your spaceship. The video game Faster Than Light, that reminds me a lot of that game. It's almost like a digital port of that. Inquisitor, it's still a great game. Okay, well, who's playing it? I mean, everybody else who's not just simply dusting it off for the sake of nostalgia. I mean, you know. Oh, what was that other one? Artemis. Artemis? Yeah, it's Artemis. We always ended up playing it at Adepticon, and it was basically a Starfleet simulator. You know, everybody has their stations and stuff. That was a fun game. I always have a blast with that one. I'm not drinking coffee. I'm drinking some Earl Grey. Some Earl Grey, for anybody who's wondering what I'm drinking here. It's Earl Grey. No junk. I just drink straight up Earl Grey. For anybody who's wondering or cares. Torben, got you. I only heard about it in passing as being the definitive nerd game. Dark Mission, hi, Kris and all. Hi, Dark Mission. Inquisitor, I've played a few times this year. Oh, really? Do you guys still play, like regularly? Yeah, that's cool. I haven't played it in ages. But I remember having so much fun with it, allocating power and everything like that. And, it actually made sense to how, like, anybody who's played the game can imagine the battles in the show and the movies and such in a bit more of a realistic type of fashion versus what you see in the shows. Because, like, in the show, the ships are always nose to nose, whereas in the battles, they're you're really far away from each other and stuff. And when you're shooting and maneuvering, and you got to rotate the ship so you're getting hit on one side because your shields are down on the other, and stuff like that. Dr. Xantos, tea, Earl Grey, hot. Yeah. Matt Brasso, Earl Grey. Okay, Picard. Earl Grey's good. Yeah. Well, everybody now, tea, Earl Grey, hot. Okay, just because I am a big Star Trek nerd. I almost said Star Wars. Because I am a Star Wars nerd as well. I mean, yeah. I can sit here. I'll sit here drinking my Earl Grey with my lightsaber. So how do you like them frickin' apples? Yeah, there we go. Anybody who needs some lightsaber sounds. Anyway. Put this away before I end up knocking something over in here in my office. See me trash my room. I should do a video where I'm trying to wield my lightsaber. Inquisitor, yes, I play ISC and Klingons. Oh, cool. I only ever played as Federation. I never tried the other factions because I only played like not a whole bunch of times, but enough that I really enjoyed it and I was looking forward to the next time we played. And then we kind of just fell apart playing it. Torben, so what's the deal about the Crusade thing for 40k? Do we have any information except their hype blurb? Yeah, just a hype blurb for now. They talked about it during the stream. It's a campaign system. It's a new campaign with the big book of the big rule book. Obviously, you always get rules for campaigns, stuff like that, and which it helps when getting into the game and when you buy the big box. And I suspect the big box, it'll be Necrons, Space Marines, and Sisters. I would imagine that's what's going to be in the big box. Will it have terrain? Ooh, that's interesting. Probably. It'll probably have a little scatter terrain or something in it. Nick Marchand, did you ever play Silent Death? No, I did not. No. Send me a link. Email me a link. I'll check it out. Ninny plug. GW is the business of selling $50 to $60 hardcover books every couple of years, not models. There's no need for a 9th edition. Just clean up what you already have and focus on selling the models. Sure. I mean, yeah, they're not really a book publisher, right? But they do publish books. But yeah, they do consider themselves a model company first and foremost, right? At least whenever you hear them talk about themselves. Do we need a 9th edition? Sure, why not? I mean, you know, it sets a new boundary in what we refer to in games, and it begins a new era, right? It's just like Rogue Trader, 2nd edition, 3rd edition, 4th edition, 5th edition, 6th edition, 7th edition, 8th, and now 9th, right? And it allows us to kind of recall eras and things like that. Is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. But what is necessary? This entire hobby is not necessary. So, you know. Anyway. Inquisitor, and I drink Earl Grey. James Kent, of course it's a red lightsaber. Of course it's a red lightsaber. Of course it's going to be a red lightsaber. Are you kidding me? Come on. Come on. Come on. Ninny plug, the constant updates for rules is so off-putting, it's not even funny. Right, but I mean, like, to update the rules, oftentimes when you're dividing your time up from, you know, competitive type play, you know, regular pick up and play kind of games, and narrative type games, the rules have to get updated, you know, and you want things that play well and are fair, right? And when you're looking at, and competitive type play really brings these kind of things forward, any kind of flaws within rules. And as metas change and, you know, things of that nature, they always have to get updated. I mean, what doesn't get updated? What video game, you know, doesn't get updated all the time, you know? And game rules. I mean, like, you know, there's plenty of things that get updates. I mean, it's a fact of life. And I mean, like, as things evolve and as they are become more and more popular, yeah, they always got to get updated, right? It's just a fact of life. ER, my hot take, GW is run by a bunch of soy boys, and they've turned my goofy grimderp game into a cartoony mess. I've heard that argument 30 years ago when Rogue Trader went to 2nd edition. And right now, the game itself is more like Rogue Trader than it was 2nd edition. It's come out of basically, when it went back to 3rd edition, it was going more grimdark. 2nd edition was seen as a very cartoony, you know, kind of thing. But so much of the element of 40K and the idea of pick up and play type gaming, where, you know, you have codified rules so that when you come and we're going to agree to a points system, you know what I mean? And like, it allowed for pick up and play games much better than Rogue Trader did. And the game has just gone, you know, on with that. And yeah, so, but I mean, like, as far as updating things, well, things change, metas change, you know, they write a rule for a unit, and sure, they play test it, whatever, but I mean, you bring it into a tournament setting and they might not see all those permutations. And especially when you have so many different factions who operate so differently from each other, or at least they should, you are going to get, right, variables that don't equate, and the equation gets messed up with all these variables. So yeah, you always constantly have to adjust. You know, you have to course correct. These are always course corrections, and it's just the natural part of thing of something that is living, evolving, and changing. Now, what I'm glad to hear is that, you know, our codexes and stuff like that are not changing. They'll get updated, I'm sure, down the road, but right now, getting into 9th, I don't have to wait for a new codex, or they're going to print some little BS little, you know, mini decks kind of thing. I'm glad to hear that, you know, my codex is not going to change, and my current rule set's not going to change. And, you know, so because that was one of my biggest gripes. Whenever there was an edition change, yeah, all your codexes are out the window. And that really pisses a lot of people off, right? When they do that kind of stuff. And I'm glad, but that was under old visions, right? The current iteration of Games Workshop is operating far better, and they appear to be taking the community very seriously in the decisions that they make and the product that they're creating. And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. 20 years ago, Games Workshop was not like that. Games Workshop was very draconian in its treatment of the community. Kevin Cabal, any excuse to whip that thing out. Your lightsaber, I mean. Oh, any excuse, man. You know me, man. Any excuse, I whip my lightsaber out. I should get a small one. No, never. To be more accurate. Nindy plug, especially when those updates are 99% just excuses to shift the meta and make people buy new armies because old models and configurations don't work anymore just because. Well, see, the thing is, though, is with the competitive side. See, people who play just pick up a match play. They pick up things from the community, from the competitive side of things, because everybody wants to win, right? Whereas if you play more narrative games, yeah, those kind of things don't really affect you, right? When you play narrative. And when you play narrative and friendly games, nothing stops you from adjusting the rules of a unit anyway, or the game, or pulling something out, or and slapping something in. When you play more narrative, do whatever you want, right? Pick up and play type games, match play, sure, right? I mean, you want to have some uniformity because you play against somebody you've never played against before, and it's a good way of meeting people, right? And then, of course, competition. Usually, everybody's of a similar mindset, because everybody deliberately wants to win, and that kind of mentality shouldn't be discouraged, and it shouldn't be looked down upon, because realistically, that's where a lot of these holes and bugs within the system, come into play. And you want a game that plays very well because, even in friendly games, how many times in the past, any of you long-time players, how many times in the past have you stopped the game and you were in some sort of discussion about, rules and, like this shouldn't work with this and this, you know what I mean? And you're sitting there and you're wasting half an hour, going back and forth about whether this would work with this or not, Whereas tournaments flush that kind of thing out, and that becomes apparent, and so then it gets adjusted and it gets updated, and hence the updates. I mean, like everything gets updated. Old man Logan, hello monkeys, hello Kris and monkeys, hello Torben. But without constant rules update changes, the models stale out, and the community goes elsewhere. There's kind of special kind of symbiosis between rules and models. Yeah, there is, definitely. King Juggalo. Just spent over 3K since I started this last year. I got Black Legion, 3K worth of points, and Iron Hands. Cool, yeah. King Juggalo. Now they said everything I bought will have to be purchased again. I'm very suspicious of their words. No, they don't have to buy anything again with this new edition change. That's not what I took away from this. Inquisitor, second edition orcs were 100% cartoon. Yeah, they were, but they were fun. Rogue Trader, they were great. They were very humorous. I loved the humor that orcs brought to the game. The grimdark of everything. It was orky was very dark humor, because obviously they were kind of a life is cheap kind of thing, and they're just just killing each other, and But yeah, they were very cartoony. But I enjoyed first and second edition orcs. They were very funny. I enjoyed the randomness and everything like that. Mind you, though, as armies get bigger, all that randomness, rolling for this and that. I mean, even today, like rolling for random things, and kind of slow things down a bit. Especially when you're gearing towards streamlining, the rule set that you guys can bang out a 1,800 point game in 2 hours, kind of thing, right? Oh, ER, didn't you notice all the cartoony style in the release today? They're also doing a Marvel cartoon. They have gone mainstream. Well, everything will go mainstream at some point. And yeah, I mean, they're a business. They want to continue to make money. That's what it's all about. This is the economy that you are partaking in and are benefiting from. So, yeah. If Games Workshop just died off tomorrow and didn't produce any more new models, well, where are you going to get new models? You know what I mean? Somebody else's janky 3D prints, you know? Somebody sculpts. I mean, you know, what else are you going to do? Not be part of the hobby? Well, then nothing's stopping you now from being part of the hobby. So, you know, that's the beauty of free will. You can do what you want, you know? Oh, man. King Juggalo, you're a heretic also, my brother. I'm a heretic? Hey, man, I have a very realistic approach to this. I don't have any particular love or hate for Games Workshop. Games Workshop has been a part of my life since I've been in this hobby since 88. Space Hulk was my introduction to this hobby, and yeah, it's been a part of my life for years. I've been off and on, of course, you know, with other things in life, but you know, yeah, I've always enjoyed the universe of Warhammer 40,000. Saleswoman from Hell, can you imagine if the original StarCraft never updated? No Brood War? Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, that's exactly it. I mean, like, you know, there's always going to be updates because, first of all, these are businesses and they have to generate money. They don't just sell a product once and then sit on their laurels and, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to generate new money, right? You always want new customers, new money. That just makes sense. Like, it's a business. They're a business. So assume all the decisions they make are business decisions. Moose Dookie, the Codex staying is my favorite part so far. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, you know, they would have probably pissed everybody off if they said, oh, yeah, codexes are gone. We're going to do brand new codexes, even though the rules change is not significant, or even if it was a significant rule change. You know what I mean? Like, I still think we're still pretty close to them introducing Age of Sigmar, and I think it's still kind of fresh in the memory of everybody. So, yeah. Mini War Mutt. Man, I wish I encountered Warhammer 40k when I was young. Now 46. I'm trying to learn the lore, and the WoD is right for me. I enjoy the freedom of the greenskins. Only played 5 games. Great game. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Orcs are fun. You know, when you're in the mood to do some history lessons and stuff like that, look at like Rogue Trader era orcs. Look at 2nd edition orcs. They were a lot funnier. There was a lot more comedy. But I mean, some people obviously like. You know, some people here, like, the comedy doesn't rub them the right way. They like the orcs kind of scary and everything like that. And that's fine, too. I mean, like, you know, the models are definitely better now than they were then because the orcs, yeah, big, brutal, you know, ogre-type green things that, you know, are, you know, these brutal creatures that are just constantly looking for war, which, you know, it's one-dimensional, but, you know, it's fun. You know, whereas before they had that other face of comedy to them, this dark comedy that was with them. But Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader had layers. It had layers to it. And I think that was what that initial appeal was to Warhammer 40,000 was, you know, the layers, the humor, the dark, you know, the poking fun at this and that and, you know, all the many things about Warhammer 40,000. King Juggalo, hey, Slipknot went mainstream, MK went mainstream, but once they realize they can't take the grim from the darkness, they'll be happy to darken, so they go grim. So they go grim? I mean, it's it's whatever people want. I mean, like, whenever if they go super cartoony because, you know, they're after a particular demographic, right? And you know what I mean? And I mean, I have no idea what fuels their businesses, what numbers they are looking at that says, you know what, here. But also, too, I mean, like, with the prevalence of digital art and so many people creating it, I mean, like, I see, like the style of art that Games Workshop on the website, you see it a lot, that particular style. I see that all over the place. And I think, and this is a discussion all on its own here, is the prevalence of digital art. And it's kind of like airbrushing in miniature painting. You lose the artist's fingerprint in the particular art piece, especially with digital art and airbrushing. When everything is airbrushed on a miniature, you can't tell who painted it. It all looks the same or similar. And the same thing with digital art, you know, especially with these very kind of muted color palettes that they have. And this very kind of, you know, I don't know what the aesthetic would be, but it's this common aesthetic I'm seeing all over the place. And, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's all about who they're targeting, right? I mean, they're looking for young players. They're looking for female players. They want male players. They want over 20. They want over 30. They want over 40. They want everybody. They want the gamers. They want the moviegoers, the readers. They want the painters. Games Workshop wants everybody in this hobby. And that's obviously a business decision. I mean, that's how they're going to make money, because they're a business. I mean, it only makes sense. ER, guess 30K is the game for adults and 40K is even more for kids now. I don't know about that. 30K definitely appeals to those who like the more historical, but I mean, as far as 30K is concerned, I mean, like, staying within what 7th edition rules, but the army books are big tomes, and they're catering to that, and why not, right? Because there's a market for it, because there's people who don't like change, who resist change, nothing wrong with it. Plenty of people resist it. Aaron C. Howdy, Kris and Monkey Brethren. Late to the party. Happy 9th edition day. Is that what we're calling it? 9th edition day? Yeah, happy 9th edition day. I'm fine with 9th edition. I would have preferred that there was some Eldari, but since there's not, I'm kind of bummed. Ah, man. Spiritual Liege Robot Gilliman. The dark side is always the right side, yeah. Well, because we have cookies. Jason Larson. I love the varying art styles. I love comics and cartoons. I like the grim dark. I don't understand why people think we can't view the universe through different lenses. No, exactly. I mean, it's different flavors. It's different demographics they're after. And yeah, you're going to see varying styles throughout things, because certain things are going to appeal to certain people. And it's because we want to be inclusive, because we want to be able to enjoy this hobby together and help it grow, because you definitely need new people and you definitely need young people, because how old were any of you old cats that when you got into this hobby, right? You often look back at it through the lens of nostalgia. I do. All the time, Rogue Trader Day, some of my favorite games. I can still remember some of my favorite games during Rogue Trader when I'm playing with my buddies. Yeah, totally. I remember, like, my buddy Mike. We still talk about it. Making a las cannon shot through, I think it was 3 sets of windows on a target in hardcover. So figure out what the modifier on that die roll was. And he made it, hit it, and killed the guy. We still laugh about that one, man. Making that shot through a bunch of windows to a target in hardcover. And I think he might have been moving fast, too. I think he was moving over 10 inches or something like that. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, man. Mad Mock. It's called capitalism. Live with it, you commies. Exactly. I mean, it's capitalism. It's a system we're all in. Obviously, anybody who's listening to me is, part of this culture. And, yeah, capitalism. I mean, that's how this works. I mean, if you want to talk like a pinko and you don't like change, well, then, Yeah, damn pinko commies. Jabba's left nut. I miss scattered dice. That made firing a battle cannon fun. Yeah. Especially when you scatter it onto yourself or scatter it onto your own troops. Oh, and you just wipe out a whole unit. Oh, man. James of Kent. That cinematic trailer, they really showed suitably grim and gothic. Yeah, that trailer was awesome. I almost went into a walk in there. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. And I thought it was for a video game. I was like, oh, okay, another 40K video game. Yay. I was like, no, it's for the trailer. Okay, well, very cool. And, it captures, the universe pretty good. I thought it was pretty cool. Nick Marchand, red goes faster without a doubt. The best Rule 40k GW has ever put in the game. Forced us to paint our orc vehicles a color other than black. Exactly, right? Social engineering. Matthew Perez, gotta jump off, but if my email comes up today, let the constructive criticism fly. I need to know what I am doing right and how to get better. From Little Rocker Dude. Catch the replay. Thanks all. Later, Matthew. What time are we at? Yeah, I've got a bunch of emails to get through today, so we definitely will be getting to those emails shortly, because I got a bunch. Aaron Seach, in case I missed it, when was the new edition coming out? I didn't catch a date. I assume fall. I said summer, but I mean, like, summer's around the corner. It could be summer. But I would assume fall or early winter. I would assume. Usually, right? Grim, the AdMech side have better cookies, though. Don't forget. Well, Grim, if the AdMech is anything like you, then yes, it's got better cookies. Heretic Scott, hey dudes, so I personally really liked Warhammer Reveal. They've really improved their marketing. I was a whole 12 years old when I started out in this hobby. Yeah. I was 12 or 13, 1988. Well, how old was I? 13-ish. I was turning 13 because my birthday's in December, so it's like the end of the year, right? So yeah, I was 12. Yeah, I was 12 when I got into this too. My cousins, because my cousins were older, and I looked up to them, and they were cool and everything like that, and so yeah. And they were playing it, and I was like, well, the cool kids are doing it. I want to know what's going on, So yeah. Legion, completely reworked the Necron model line, so Eldar can't be that far off, right? I would hope. I don't know. The new Necrons. I like the new Necrons. I like that they look a little bit bigger because it looks like they're standing more upright. Somebody had pointed out earlier during the show that the heads looked a little like derpier, apparently, like a little bit broader. Yeah. But I like that they got rid of the clear plastic in the gun. And there's a little bit more detail to the gun now. The gun isn't just shapes with a clear plastic bit in it, There's actually some details now to the gun. And I like that, they had tubes and wires hanging out of them, and they kind of, zombie-like appearance to them. And I like that. I definitely like that. And I think that's something that is definitely needed for them, because before the Necrons are just a little clean, and they're just their shapes are a little bit too clean, and it looks like they actually have like little pistons and stuff inside their joints and everything like that, and so they definitely look a little bit more detailed, and I think that's really cool. George Hintz, I got into gaming when I was 16 in 1981. Yeah, well, you're old balls, George. You're old balls. So, of course, you're gonna have a decade on me. George's like, screw you, man. Old Man Logan, I started right around when Primaris were introduced, and the number of people had problems with them. But being new, they appealed to me over the older Space Marines right out of the gate. Primaris were so much better from the aesthetic perspective. Oh, I like Primaris Marines. I like them. I thought it was really kick-ass when the Betrayal at Kelth box came out, and they had all the Horus Heresy models and everything. And I was like, wow, everybody's going to snap these up real fast for Horus Heresy, right? And even just for regular Space Marine armies, because, they were the right scale, but they had nice clean features. You could, convert them and stuff like that. But then the Primaris came out, and the Primaris Marines are a good-sized model. And, they look good, and they got nice details in the, you know what I mean? And so I like Primaris models. And of course, they also have that helmet that kind of looks like a bit like the Mark IV with the iron grate in the front and everything like that, and not so much the Darth Vader vent piece kind of thing. This is the vent piece. Anybody who's simply listening didn't catch the hand movement, but anyway. Sir Peanut Butter. When I got into Warhammer at 12 years old, it was the grimdark art in the books that pulled me into the universe. Yeah. Well, for me, it was my cousins. I saw it. I was exposed to it. I had no idea what it was, but it looked cool, and yeah. And so that's where I got into it. And of course, Space Hulk is what really got me into it, because Space Hulk, the cover, it was aliens, right? And the movie Aliens was a huge thing for me, and yeah, aliens, man, it's because I loved Aliens. Mad Mock. Ha! Ghost Starman Deluxe. Fairly sure they didn't give a date. No, I'm pretty sure they didn't give a date. Eric Fountain. Holy crap. 1988. I graduated high school. Thanks for making me feel old. Well, I graduated in what? 92? 93? When the hell did I graduate? I don't even know. Anyway. Emerald Phoenix. I missed the clear plastic. In the Necrons, yeah, the clear plastic. If they did something with the clear plastic, if they did those details, like those little doodads in the side of it, and allowed better opportunities for creating something interesting, then the clear things would be really cool. Oh man, so if they're dropping clear plastic, that means that the monolith's going to get changed or dropped, right? The Ghost Ark doesn't have clear bits. The what's that? There's no clear bits on the newer stuff, but like the monolith and the warriors and the immortals, I think, right? They all have clear bits, so those are all going to get reworked, I would assume. Yeah. A new monolith would be cool, because the monolith's pretty old. It's a pretty old kit. Came out, early 3rd edition. So, yeah. Jason Larson graduated in 2005. That helps, Eric. Damn kids. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I really like the translucent plastic. Felt really sci-fi. Sure. And there's nothing saying that you can't put that bit back in there. Just cut that out of the new models and put that plastic bit in, or find somebody who's producing those little clear plastic bits and just put it back in there. Just do it. Your models, do them however you want. Hell, I think it would probably be pretty interesting if somebody did that with the new Necrons, to snip that bit out and put a clear plastic bit in there, and yeah. Or if somebody 3D prints something. Ooh, there we go. Somebody's gonna 3D print something. Grim, I was introduced to Warhammer in 4th and 5th grade with Gaunt's Ghost. My favorite lore is still with the Guard, but I dig the AdMech look. Yeah, it's kind of fun. That new flyer. Has that new flyer even come out yet? It hasn't come out yet. The orthocopter or whatever the hell it is. That hasn't come out yet, has it? I don't know. Fire Drake 18, sup people, sup. Legion, I still think that doing the older marks of Space Marine armor in Primaris size would have been a better move than having exclusively the new design. Well, I mean, we can always talk about the scale creep, right? And everything's changing scale. And, if they'd have just bumped the scale of the Mark 6, 7, 8s, and 4s, and the 5s, all, and just basically bumped everybody up, then everybody would have lost their minds, because they would have, it would have changed. And I think they didn't want a repeat of Age of Sigmar when Age of Sigmar was released. So, yeah. I think that's why. And we're talking conspiracy theories at this point, if the scale creep is real. I think it is, but who knows? Nick Marchand, I don't think it was out of the realm of possibility to see a summer release. If we don't need to buy new codexes, it seems very doable. Sure, yeah. It could. I mean, everybody's at home, but I mean, that means that they got to start, opening up production wherever the box sets are assembled and stuff like that, and and you got to imagine that with their production schedule, this was like months ago when they even began work to get to this point, to release it, to reveal it to everybody, right? So, months and weeks, probably even a year. Probably it's been sitting on their shelves for a while. Mini Warmut. Hey Jason, get off my lawn. Ha ha ha. I tease. God, I feel old. Ghost Starman Deluxe. AdMech plane isn't out yet. Probably will be in normal circumstances, I think. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I know that there's a ton of stuff. I want to get Aeronautica, and I want that Tau box set, but it hasn't been released yet. And I keep looking. I'm like, hasn't it come out yet? I thought that was already a thing, but it hasn't even come out yet. I'm probably going to pick up Aeronautica when it comes out. Fire Tricketing, I believe it was 1995. I found 40K, loved second edition, but it took way too long. 8 hours for a 2,000 point game. Yeah, well, because the game wasn't designed for that big points. I mean, you could play it if you had plenty of time, right? But also, too, I mean, I'm sure that 8 hours was also spent arguing about, how rules interact with each other, right? Dave Battaglia, sounds dead orky. Nick Marchand, with the scale creep, you will be able to play with your action figure by 12th edition. I don't think it'll be that big. I say that now and then watch 12th edition rolls around and we're playing with big action figures. G.I. Joes. I think by the time we roll around to 12th edition 40K, I don't think that the current business model of how it all works, I don't even think it'll be. I think 3D printing will be dominating the space. Because, okay, what are we at? 9th edition and 12th edition. So that's the difference of what? 3 editions. And it's about, 3-4 years break between editions. So 12 years. Yeah, that fits about where I've been saying about 10 years from now. The 3D printing will be dominant and everybody will just print their own models in whatever painted schemes they want. I'm saying 10 years. So by the time 12th edition rolls around, yeah, it'll probably everybody has a 3D printer and you're printing up your own models. And yeah, so guaranteed. I'm saying it's guaranteed. So anybody from the future who's watching this, yeah, I called it. 12th edition, 12 years, 3D printed. Everybody's doing it. Legion, but they did exactly that for the Chaos line. New Marines, Havocs, Terminators, just in bigger scale, and they look great. Would have worked for the Marines and saved a lot of trouble. Yeah, but again, poster child, right? And so many Marine players versus Chaos players and, stuff like that, right? So it's I'm sure they have all the demographic information that they need to make these kind of decisions, I'm sure. Because they can just look at the sales numbers, right? What models are selling, what particular times, you know what I mean? Like, they can see if there was, certain trends that occurred because of, say, certain movies or certain book releases or, whatever. I'm sure that they have all that information. I'm sure somebody is breaking that down. Because if they're not, then then it's just guesswork at that point, right? It's just guesswork. And I don't think they're into guesswork. I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. Dave Patelli, I remember watching guys play 4th in 95, 96. They seemed to do was argue and try to cheat. Yeah. Warhammer Fantasy seemed to be much more civilized with our boring blocks of troops. Yeah, see, and that's the thing with like Warhammer Fantasy. Warhammer Fantasy was a hard sell for me to get me into. I didn't get into Warhammer Fantasy until when the 5th edition, when the Bretonnian and Lizardman box came out, and I saw how basically like the Bretonnians, which got me right into Bretonnians because obviously they're knights, they're chivalry, right? I dig all that stuff, and they're in the lance formation, which was different than the regular big blocks of stuff. And because basically when you're dealing with big blocks of stuff, like what's the point of having a big block and it have 50 models in it versus having a sculpted block that you have a wound counter beside? Like, what's the difference? Other than pulling models off and having to paint all these models. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I don't know why people are, so adamant about Warhammer Fantasy. I mean, but again, I always make this comparison that I'm more Star Wars and Star Trek than I am Lord of the Rings and, although Willow's really great. But I am more Star Trek, Star Wars than I am fantasy. Banshun. I am only playing 9th edition if they have Halfling Marines. Halfling Marines. If they have Halfling Marines, just bring your regular Marines. Next to Primaris Marines, they almost look like Halflings. Heretic Scott, the new Chaos models were the reason I started collecting them as an army. Would like to see the new Khorne Berserker models and maybe a 40k conversion kit for World Eaters rather than spending £30 on a box of Blood Warriors. Sure. I mean, again, it's, yeah, it would be nice if the kits were a little bit more flexible from GW. as far as like building options and things like that. I personally, I'm okay with lots of extra little bits because that gives you opportunity for conversions, having some fun, and things like that. And everybody wants conversion bits because, again, it's kind of a gateway thing because it allows you to be a little bit more creative with your armies, which is good for tournaments, is good for match play, even narrative. Make a character for a narrative game, So having extra bits lying around from your kits is a good thing. And also, it is kind of a gateway for some things because, for example, if you're a regular 40k kind of player and, or even, Age of Sigmar, and you want to play Kill Team or Warcry, and you do up a custom warband, right? Well, now you got all those little extra bits lying around that you can make these little neat little conversions. And, it only makes sense to have more options within a kit. And I don't understand why they do that with some of these kits. And, so, yeah. James the Kent theory. The Primaris thing is setting up for some kind of civil war. Leman Russ returns to take on Reboot Gilliman for daring to question the Emperor's original plan. Sure. Yeah. Fire Brigadier John Titor? John Titor knows. What does he know? I don't know who John Titor is. Christian Hoffman, love the new Necron sculpts. I do too. Well, I wouldn't say love, but I do like them. However, due to the additional details on them, I can no longer get them done at a speed of 1 cron per minute. I think you still will be able to. I think you still will be able to get to hammer out a quick paint job on them, especially now that with the prevalence of contrast paints. People are going to be able to hammer those things out really, really fast. I mean, okay, for God's sakes here. You assemble the Necron, fully assemble him, right? You spray him with lead belcher. You hit him with a contrast to dirty him up. You go with Nuln Oil, Agrax, or Shade, or you go with, whatever color you want. Snake bite leather, thin it down, and give it a nice dirty wash kind of consistency. Just change the armor color or whatever, right? Then you go in with some dry, give it a quick little dry brush, catch the edges again, come in with contrast, paint the guns black, come in with some regular green, bang, and you're done. You know what I mean? Like, you're done. You're done. You can hammer out Necron so fast. I've been meaning to demonstrate some Necron because I had an idea that I wanted to do on the Croissant, and so, yeah, I've been meaning to get started on that project. But you should totally be able to continue to paint Necrons pretty speedily because they're entirely... It's kind of like Space Marines. Space Marines are pretty fast too. Other than the fact usually everybody wants to do like a lot of the edge highlighting, whereas Necrons, you pretty much can just do a quick dry brush on them. I mean, Space Marines you can do it too, but oftentimes people don't. I'm not sure why. But, you should be able to speed paint them right through them and, get through it. So... should be no worries. Fire Jerky Teen, any Salamander news? I didn't see any. I saw no Salamander news. Wait. No, there wasn't any. Christian Hoffman, I was messing about the Necrons, but I can't wait to slap texture paints all over them and give them a full grimdark Blanchu paint job. Blanchitsu? That sounds like Shih Tzu. Blanchitsu? Is that how people are saying that? Blanche Shih Tzu? A Shih Tzu? Really? Dr. Xantos, email time? Yes, it's email time. Let's do an email. How's my tea? My tea's okay. Probably pretty tepid now, but... hey, you know what? Nobody commented, too, about the logo. That the logo's moving. Like, it's an animated logo now. Like, big thank you to Piehead. I think, Piehead, your YouTube is Saleswoman for Hell, isn't it? So, big thank you to Piehead for taking the time to do this. And if you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down because here it comes. Email time. Big email time. I have no idea if it stopped. Oh, it did stop. I don't hear it, so. Anywho, this is from our good buddy Aaron Seach. Howdy, Kris. Here is the first batch of my Ogre Maw Tribe army that I'm converting from square bases to round. This was army with a horrible paint job I picked off eBay on the cheap. They are all primed using Wraithbone spray from Citadel. The flesh is base coat of Cadian flesh tone with Reikland flesh shade thin wash, thinned 1-to-1 with Lamian medium, then layered with Kislev flesh. Final highlight of flayed 1 flesh. The fresh blood on the mouths and weapons is done in blood for the blood god. The dried blood on the arms is my recipe of Doombull brown, thinned 3-to-1 with Lamian medium. After fry highlight. The fingers with Kislev flesh, then a wash of Carberg crimson. Weapons are Lead Belcher with a wash of Nuln oil and Egrax Earthshade mixed 1-to-1 with Lamian medium. Light dry brush of Ryza Rust for the light surfaces. For that slight surface rust look. Excuse me. The bases are done with Sterling Mud with gloss of varnish, patches of Valhallan Blizzard for patches of wet melting snow, finished off with some winter tufts and patches of winter dead grass flock. I wanted the bases to look like wet Arctic tundra that has thawed out. Wet, sloppy, muddy fits these big boys perfectly. I did notice a few mistakes that I made that I hadn't realized until I had taken these pics. Mainly a couple mold lines I missed around the beard. CNC, always welcome. Aaron Seach. Aaron Seach. A.K.A. Seach and Destroy. I'm going to start calling him Aaron now. Listen up, Aaron. Hold on here. I got to adjust my windows a little bit. I was goofing around with that stream today. So there we go. So here is a group shot of his Ugars. Very nice. I think like your buddy on the far left, you can see how there's a lot, like a nice bit of darkness in the mouth. I think the guy in the middle and the guy on the far right, he could do with a bit more of that darkness in that mouth. Maybe it's just the way they angle. I definitely like that though. I like the work on the metal. That's actually really good. Not that it's actually really good, but I mean it's good. Because it looks like metal, but it's rusty. It's got the hint of rust going on. Like the blood. Do you do the blood by like brush, or do you like flick it on like by toothbrush? I like the toothbrush because it gives you a bit more of a splat. Really nice work though. Yeah, seam lines, stuff like that. But, you know, next time. It's not a biggie. It's not a big deal. I like the bases. Oh, I see. You got the blood. Yeah, see, like if you did like the dried blood on the arm, I don't know if it needed to go all the way to the elbow, but from like up from the wrist, if you did more of a splat kind of look. And same with on the sword. If you did a quick flick with the blood on the axe or on the edge of the blade, I mean, it gives you that kind of like it's impacted and blood sprayed up the blade kind of thing. Sprayed up the blade. If you're not sure what I mean by that, I can show you if you want. But yeah. And the other thing with blood as well is oftentimes less is more, right? Now, I'm not saying that these guys are overly done with blood or anything like that. I think it looks fantastic. Sorry, I was just going to the second. He sent me 2 emails, and so this is the second part. Yeah, see, like this guy here, the blood along the mouth and everything like that, it looks really good. I like that. It looks very sinister. But with like the one hand that's dried in blood, is the other hand supposed to be clean, or is it like he, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that other hand get a little bit of blood on it? And like, wouldn't some blood splatter onto his armor? Again, it's, oh yeah, see, I really like how you got it splattering up the side of the face. That looks really cool. I think like the shields and things like that, I think that's your opportunity to introduce color sometimes. Like if that shield was a blue and white with a fleur-de-lis and those little rusty bits of metal, or it had the hint of like it was blue with chipped metal, and you know what I mean, like, and practice some like weathering and stuff. It's an opportunity for that. Yeah, I think what it is I think I'd like to see separation from with those teeth and that bottom lip. I think that's what it is. If you went in with like a deeper color and just separated those teeth from that bottom lip, that would look really good. But bases and everything looks really good, man. Yeah. Yeah, I think this with that with that blood is do it like in a streak, like contact the edge and then do a quick flick of the brush, and it'll give you that quick little streak along the thing. But only do it a few times. Don't just do it for every brush stroke. Just do a couple like that, and it'll give you that variation on the blade. But very, very cool. Thank you, Aaron, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. I look forward to seeing more. And thank you for sharing, man. Awesome as a possum. Heretic Scott says, nice work on the flesh. I like the flesh. Yeah. James of Kent, I do like how each ogre is individual rather than being very samey. Yeah, definitely. Old Man Logan, me likey, Aaron. Aaron. Fire Drake, now you got me thinking of Key and Peele. Aaron? Yeah. I'm just going to say Aaron's name like that from now on. Aaron. Here's another email. This one is from our good buddy Dr. Xantos. Greetings, Kris and the monkeys. After your latest stream, I jumped up and got the Duke Nukem bust I've had in my vault for years, primed it. 2 days later, I finished with what you're about to see. It was neat to work on something else for a change and actually get some painting done. Not much else to say about it. Might get another bust one day, maybe. Rock on, Dr. Xantos. And so here's Dr. Xantos. We were talking about Duke Nukem. We were even talking about it today, too. Carpe Nukem. Work it, baby. Work it. You know what would have been fun? I like the paint job on here, but you know what would have been super, super fun? Is if you did that 80s style non-metallic reflective metal, like the Sky Earth non-metallic metal, in the lenses. I think that would have been super fun, because that would totally have looked like an 80s, action poster kind of thing. I like the work on the flesh. I like the hair. I like all the highlighting and everything like that. Yeah, I think that in the sunglasses, like if you did that Sky Earth kind of non-metallic metal look, I think that would have been really, really cool. But was it just one picture? Oh, it's just one picture. But yeah, that's really cool, man. Yeah, I think that's the only thing. Or if you did, if you had actual chrome paint, you could put that in there and just do chrome in the lenses, and that would totally give them that classic look. Oh man, where are we here? Aaron Seach, on the other hand, is supposed to be clean, is called the meat fist, so it's just the one. Okay. I usually do the flick of blood splatter with the brush. I just half-assed it for the guys with the swords. Oh, okay. Don't half-ass it when you can use your whole ass. Christian Hoffman, is it too late to send something in for the show? It all depends. We got 40 minutes left of the show, and I do want to end the show at a good time today. So if you do send it in, don't be surprised if I do it. Do. And don't be surprised if I don't do. But it will be read on the next show. If you do send it in and I don't get to today. Because again, everybody sends emails at, odd times or whatever. And I've been really good in the last couple years now of being on top of the emails and getting them done and, not, being weeks behind on emails. Years ago, I was really bad for that. Really bad. Aaron Seach. Duke, hail to the king, baby. I could talk like Duke Nukem all day long. Of course, I end up with a really scratchy throat, but... Oh, man. Aaron Seach, that is literally what my boss calls me at work. When she sends me emails, she literally writes my name, Aaron. You done messed up, Aaron. Dr. Xantos, you got any samples of Sky Earth lenses? Well, just take the Sky Earth theory of how you do Sky Earth non-metallic metal. Just look up SENMM, and you'll see what I mean. I don't know if I've done any videos on it in recent years, I could do a demonstration of it. But the theory is the same. The theory is the same if you're doing it on armor, if you're doing it on lenses, even in glass. Glass, gemstones, you can do it on gemstones. It's all the same theory. Heretic Scott, that'd be cool. The new retro wave vibe thing that's kind of taken off in the last few years is one of my favorite looks. Yeah, my daughter plays Grand Theft Auto, and so she's been doing a lot of the arcade missions where she has an arcade, and her arcade has that neon 80s, that look. It's fun. Dark Commission started painting the bus this week. First thing painted since last August. Oof, man, it's been a while. I've been really loving having come back fresh. Can't wait to show it off. Hopefully next week. Please. Well, take your time, man. Take your time. Don't feel rushed. Just work on it, especially when you're getting back into the swing of things. Definitely, but I look forward to seeing what you produce, man, because, it's been a while since we've enjoyed the stylings of Dark Commission. Alrighty. Let's do another email. Oh, speaking of non-metallic metal, this one is all about the non-metallic metal. This one is from our good buddy Scott Radum. Non-metallic metal, be hard, bro, is what the title is. This fighter dude from Redbox Games didn't have a lot of inspiration for the shield, and if I could do it again, I'd pass on the purple shirt thing. Fire away, then crits. Then crits. Them crits or then crits? Have a good one, Kris. And so let's have a peek at his warrior here. I don't know what this model is. I've never seen it before, but it's pretty interesting. Looks cool. Again, the first thing that just jumped out at me as I was kind of just quickly eyeballing it was the way you did the stones again. The highlighting off to one side. I really enjoy that. That's fun. The purple doesn't bug me, although I do get the green gray from the pants. You got the orangey browns, and then the red of the shield, and the purple does feel a bit much. Whereas if the shirt was, something else, like a light leather color or something, keep it a bit more natural or something. But the non-metallic metal on the helmet looks good. On the axe, yeah, I can. Do we just have this one picture to look at? No, we got another picture here. Oh, see, you got the blue on the cloak. That looks nice. Yeah, you know what? You probably could have went with like that cloak and the pants. They seem like they're the similar colors. And if you went with like a darker color or even a lighter color of it, you could have did that tunic in that. Yeah. Because obviously the first thing that jumps out at you is the face and the shield, right? But the axe, as I was saying about the axe, your highlight goes a little far towards the curvature and the cutting edge of the blade. Versus like where it should be. And with the axe, and if you're doing that kind of non-metallic metalness on it, oftentimes you're paying attention to the horizon line, right? Of where your dark and lights are going. And I think with the axe, you probably could have pushed the darkness up higher and brought a little bit more brightness down, and then also did the cutting edge in a slightly different fashion so that it brings more prominence to it. If that makes any sense. I know with this program now, I can do a drawing where you guys can see what I'm talking about. Like I can draw circles and shit. And I'm thinking that I might have to install that next time we're doing this stream. What a dick. Screw you, Scott. What a dick. He knows I'm triggered by people painting on themselves. I'm not like proper triggered. We're like, oh, you're a joke or whatever, right? But I went on a rant. I think it was last episode. I went on a rant about people painting on themselves, and I've talked about it in the past few times about people painting on themselves. Anyway. What a guy. I don't even want to talk about that email anymore. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm triggered now. I'm triggered. I am triggered. Dark Commission, nicely painted hand, top quality. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I drink my Earl Grey with the bag in, so that every last sip is as potent as the first. Go Starman Deluxe. I'm proud. You're proud of Scott, yeah. You're proud of him, and the trolling, the epic level of trolling he just pulled on me. Time we at here? Oh, we got plenty of time. Okay, so yeah, somebody who was asking about sending an email. Yeah, if you send an email, yeah, we should be able to get to it. This one is from Matthew Perez. Deathwatch Battle Ready and Primaris. Hello, Kris and fellow monkeys. Been watching for quite some time, and it's about time I send something in. This is my first attempt at painting in several years, and I wasn't all that back when. The picks included are some vets I have brought up to battle ready standard and some work in progress Primaris. Still need a bit of work on the unhelmeted faces and looking to get some highlighting done once I get all the troops up to standard. Any constructive criticism, very welcome. P.S. Sorry on the meh lighting. Old house lighting can suck. Had way more picks, but couldn't fit post in Discord after show. Okay, so you're gonna post in Discord? Yeah, so post in the work in progress or completed, whichever. But let's have a peek at his work. And so here is his Deathwatch. Deathwatch. For the most part, it looks nice and clean. The only thing I mean, this is nitpicky, but the only thing I would say is drill out the barrels. But yeah, I mean, like, it looks fine to me. Be careful. I can see some of the little nick marks on top of their backpacks. It looks like you're cleaning those sprue points where the sprue connects up to. Do be mindful of those. I do have advice on cleaning sprues. I don't know if I have done it on my channel. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Kind of assembly type stuff. But anyway, yeah, just so that you can avoid those kind of situations where you're making those kind of deep gouges into the model. I realize it's not a deep gouge, but, obviously in the light, it becomes very apparent, right? And the camera, of course, shows off so much, right? So, but, I mean, these guys look really cool. I mean, don't be, oh, wow, look at these guys. Oh, wait, those were the Primaris. No, those were Deathwatch. Or the Deathwatch Primaris were still work in progress. And these are the done guys. Ah, okay. Yeah, they look good. I mean, obviously, more highlighting, but I think you'll get there when you get there. For the most part, just concentrating on staying neat, making sure colors where, you want it and not, hitting into other areas, I think is really a key factor in becoming much better at painting. And I'm looking at a lot of this and, it's not like there's a messy job. I'm not seeing heavy usage of paint. Like it's obscuring anything. Yeah, getting painting on those faces and stuff like that. Sure. Yeah, you'll get there, of course. But otherwise, yeah. I think the silver bits on the arm, if you went over it with null oil gloss or matte, whichever you prefer. If you want to stay nice and shiny, well, it does look like there is some null oil in it. I was just looking at the shoulder pads, and the shoulder pads didn't look that defined, but maybe they are. It just doesn't. Maybe it's the lighting. But yeah, I mean, they look really good, Matthew. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. No, I meant to do that. There we go. Thank you, Matthew, for sending that in. And yeah, I mean, you don't be in a rush to get your models painted, and just keep going, and concentrating on just staying nice and neat within your projects. I mean, you'll develop the other stuff as you go on, right? So definitely keep going, and it looks like you're on the right track. Nothing really, I mean, nothing corrective. Did I see anything there? It's just stuff that you're not doing yet, but you'll start doing it once you get more comfortable with your painting, right? So, I'm not going to say start edge highlighting or start highlighting, start throwing glazes down, like, I'm sure you already know that. And, you'll get there. Don't be in a rush to get there. And don't worry about the first time you start doing stuff that it looks not the way you were expecting. And in fact, don't be afraid to fail at it. Don't be afraid, because everybody fails. Everybody fails at their painting the first time they try something, blending, glazing, whatever it is. And so don't be afraid. Be proud of your failures, because that means you're learning, because now you know that, oh, okay, I did this. It didn't turn out the way I wanted. I want it more like this. How do I achieve that? Well, I did this and it didn't work for me. So if I adjust it a bit, now it starts to work. And that's how you learn, right? So definitely, man, definitely. I got this one from Derek Wilson, but I think this was part of our conversation, wasn't it? Yes, I think it was. Right, Derek? I'll go to the next one. This one's a bit of a long one, so get comfy. But thank you. Who was the last email from? Matthew. Thank you, Matthew, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. And I look forward to more work from you. So thank you. Just jumping over to the comments here real quick. And Jabba's Left Nut. Kris always says if the patrons ask for a video, he'll do it. So I would like a hand painting tutorial, please. Ugh. Like using your hand as a palette? Ebb and Flow, pro painted hand for sale. Price, an arm and a leg. Fire Jerk 18, right. Yeah, that's what it was about. That wasn't something you wanted me to show on the channel or on the show, right? It was something we were talking about. I don't quite remember what we were talking about though. I'm sorry. You guys have to remind me what we were talking about when you send me links to things. Anyway, next email. This one is from Jonathan, aka Ghost of Starman Deluxe. He sent a wall of text. Freaking kid. Hey Kris, it has been a pretty long time since I sent an email, all the way back in January of last year. Oof. So I figured now would be a good time to send in another email. During your Getting Stuff Done shows on Friday, I've been recently painting my Leviathan Dreadnought, which I first emailed you about many years ago and then proceeded to not paint for ages. Originally, he was going to be a loyalist member of my old chapter, but I decided to paint him as Death Guard instead. I probably won't continue with him for a while because I want to repaint the metals in bronze, and I don't have any. So I have to grab some when I get to local GW. I painted the green armor with Death Guard green, but I'm not sure what to highlight it with. If you have any suggestions for hat, they would be much appreciated. The Nurgling is painted in my traditional Nurgling flesh scheme with the DG green base, sponges of Lothern Forest for variety, details in Flash Gits yellow, Mephiston red, and Flayed One flesh are for details, all followed by a wash of Carlberg crimson. I prefer not highlighting over it because it makes them seem a lot more squishy. Just as Nurgle intended. During today's show, as of writing this, I also finished up a D&D character I've been working on. After I flocked the base, I added some typhus corrosion to try and make it look muddy, which I think worked quite well. It may be hard to tell in the pics. They aren't fantastic. The model is from a company called the City of Games. The product is called the Hero Pack, as it is an expansion pack that adds models to their board game. I don't actually own said board game. I just thought the models look cool. I will probably paint up some more of them in the near future. Any general comments and critique are always are welcome as always. It's been great to have the show on every week during the current situation. Helps me keep some semblance of weekly schedule. Thanks for keeping us monkeys entertained during these trying times. From Jonathan Willis, aka Ghost of Starman Deluxe, aka a man with too many unpainted minis. Oof, that took a while. Thanks, Starman. So here's this little squishy nurglings. I love it. It's great. So you washed the entire guy in Carbon Crimson? Very, very interesting. Gets you that really kind of muddy brown. And yet fills in some areas. Yeah. I like that. That's very interesting. It's a bit of color theory. Using the red on top of the green. Right? To neutralize and give you this, kind of poopy brown. Oh, this is the guy? Okay. This is the guy? This is the guy. Very interesting. Looks like from Lord of the Rings. And so some typhus corrosion on top of the flock. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't quite come across, but I'm sure to your eye it probably looks pretty darn cool. Death Guard Leviathan. Very, very cool. Oh, you asked about a color, though. I'd probably do another layer, but I think this is work in progress, right? I'd do another layer on them legs. I'd also probably do the feet in something. At first, I thought that red marking on his carapace there, I thought that was a Canadian maple leaf. I was like, whoa, what the hell? Canadian maple leaf? What the deuce? So you had asked about, what was it? Damn it. Sorry, I'm switching cameras here so I can see what the hell. Oh, you're not sure what the highlight Death Guard green. Well, I don't have any Death Guard green, but as far as I understand, Death Guard green is Elysian green. It's color like Elysian green. Elysian green might be the highlight color. I'm sure G-Dubs probably has the color swatches and what you want to highlight Death Guard green in. I don't even know. But I mean, if you don't have, but say for example, you don't have any colors to, like instead of going out and picking up, brand new paints or whatever, just simply add a bit of white or a bit of a bone color, like Screaming Skull or Ushabti Bone. Add a bit of that to that paint and do a highlight. And, that should work out okay for you. If you don't feel like going out. Death Guard Green is pretty close to Death World Forest. Do I have Death World Forest? I don't even know if I have Death World Forest. No, I don't even have Death World Forest. Or do I? Oh, I do. Okay. So it's more like that. Yeah, you can simply just add like white or Wraithbone or Screaming Skull, Ushabti Bone. You can add that to this. Just do it like a 3-to-1, then a 2-to-1. Just do an edge highlight. But otherwise, working up the colors of that, Lothern Forest actually looks like an appropriate color upwards. This is Lothern Forest right here. Lauren Forest. Sorry, Lauren Forest. And then a final highlight probably of like a color like Strachan Green. And then Nurgling Green. And then a final edge of Nurgling Green if you want to go with a bunch of edges, like a bunch of highlights. So you want to build up, a nice, edging of color, You can always go about it in that fashion. Go Starman Deluxe. Sorry about the text wall. Broke it up into paragraphs and try to make it more readable. Yeah, Carbo Crimson all over. Yeah, that's a really great idea because you're playing with a bunch of greens on that surface of the Nurgling, and then you hit it with that Carbo Crimson, and you notice it goes all brown because obviously red and green, right? When they combine, they neutralize each other because they're complementary colors, right? If you took orange and blue, they would do the same thing, purple and yellow, which I showed recently on the Stonekin Battleborn video. I showed with the yellow, I think I use Uriel yellow, and I add contrast Saish purple as the shading color. and you see it goes into a brown, but it's not quite a brown, right? It's not, you know, it's very interesting. And in fact, doing like, say for example, like Imperial Fists and taking a purple, mixing it into the yellow to create your shade color, I think would actually be very interesting. It'd look like the brown yellow Imperial Fists, but it wouldn't be quite the brown. Like it wouldn't be, you know, I don't think it'd be terribly identifiable. And I think it'd be a fantastic way of, you know, shading. I'm sure somebody else has probably already done it, but yeah. Nick Marchand, I did an email with the pictures of my daughter's special effects makeup. I was talking about it a couple weeks ago, and you asked to see some of her work. Cool. You sent them? Yeah. Well, now I got to keep going with the emails here. We got 19 minutes left of the show. We got plenty of time, people. Plenty of time. Relax. Got plenty of time. Oh yeah, I see. He sent it just a little while ago there. All right, we got another email. We're still a couple emails ahead of you, but don't worry. We should be able to motor on through. This one is from our good buddy, the Heretic Scott, a.k.a. Lewis. Hey, Kris. These guys were painted up in just 1 week as part of a recent midwinter mini competition. Thought I'd share what I've been working on. I like to add a story element to most things I paint as it makes the painting process easier. Interesting. In this case, an overlord is returning from obtaining some rare technology embedded in the skull of a fallen warrior alongside his battle-hardened lynchguard. Really enjoyed the challenge and surprised myself with what I can achieve in short time space. Any feedback, welcome as always. Cheers, Lewis, a.k.a. the Heretic Scott. And this looks frickin' cool. Check this out. Hold on. There we go. Oh, I see he's holding that little orby thing. I like the little skull on his belt too. That's cool. Oh, on his shoulder pad. What's on his shoulder pad? Oh, what's on his shoulder pad? I want to see. I like your work on the blade. That's really cool. You have that orange glow fading into the metallic color. Very, very interesting. I imagine in person that probably reads a lot better. On the photograph, it looks kind of, you know, it's not too contrasty, whereas I think in person it probably reads a lot better because you can see the metallic shine, right? I would imagine. Oh, look at this. I want to see that shoulder pad. What's he got on his shoulder pad? I want to see. Oh, it looks like a doodad. Some sort of... he's got like rainbow thing going on the blade there. What's going on here? Okay, I need more pictures of this stuff. I don't think you've sent me pictures of what you did on these blades. Because I see like a rainbowing on that blade. Lewis. God dang it, Lewis. I like the little orbs. I like how you did those. That's really cool. I like the damage. The weathering. Definitely gives them personality as, as bodyguards to this guy. Now, is there more? There is more. Oh, excuse me. There is more. Let's make sure I get them all. There we go. I like the guy on the left. I like that blade. I like how you did that. I like the Overlord's blade as well. I like how that transition, like especially looking from the back angle here, that looks like a really smooth gradient of color in there. That looks really good. Looks like he spent a lot of time on that. The weathering on his cloak is really cool. That blade, though, looks really kick-ass. Oh, you got it on the other guy, too. The one guy in this, just off from the left there, looks like he's got a cloak. And the other guy on the right, too, looks like he's got tattered rags or something. Very, very interesting. I like the vibe you've got going on here. Oh, that was his belt. Okay, so he's holding on, it looks like a skull or something. Oh. But I wanted to see what was on that shoulder. Oh. Really nice conversion work on the Lord. Very, very cool. I like the base. I like too how you got it like so, you know, obviously it elevates him above everybody else, obviously. No, really nice work though. Really fun conversion. And now, and I would assume, Lewis, that you were pretty excited about the reveal today, as far as how much Necron-y stuff is going to apparently be dropping on everybody soon enough. I mean, obviously with new warriors and stuff like that. I would assume. I don't know. Or it could be just, I don't care. Jabba's Left Nut. I do my Death Guard, Death World Force, Agrax, then Elysian Green, and Ogren Camo. Sure. Well, he's doing he was highlighting, that was the base tone for his Leviathan. He was using the Death Guard Green. And so he was looking for input how to highlight it, right? But yeah, simply adding white or, like a bleach bone, an off-white, like Screaming Skull or something, adding that to the mixture and just, doing highlights up from that is an easy way of getting, so that it looks like the base tone upwards, right? Bleached Bone. Anybody remember that name? Bleached Bone? Anyway. I can't believe that would still slip out of my mouth. Bleach Bone. Old balls. Old balls. Dark Commission, nice Necrons. The only 40k fashion I like the aesthetics of. Really? Really? James and Kent, they have real presence about them. Yeah, I thought those are fantastic conversions. They look great. Heretic Scott, the shoulder is just a weathered plate with a small neckton sigil on it and some cables coming out. Can send pics in Discord. Yeah, post some pictures of that shoulder band because it looked really interesting from the angle and it looked like something. And so I'm just curious. I'm probably building it up and people going, I want to go to Discord and I want to see what he did. And then it's like, oh, it's just a plate with just all messed up. But I still want to see it, dude. Yeah, so if you can just post a pic of it. And just tag me in the picture, or not tag me, but at me on the Discord. The tempered blades are all the Lich Guard, but it's not very visible in the pics. Yeah, so all the Temple Guard have tempered blades. Ah, cool. Yeah, very cool. I liked that look on all the blades. That was very cool. Ariel Szynski, I do ages to dust. Ninny Plug, I don't remember Old Balls was a color. What color was that? Old Balls? I don't remember Old Balls. Not Old Balls. Bleached Bone was the color. Old Balls is how I'm referring to myself. Although now we have to have a paint line called Old Balls. Oh no, somebody else did a nostalgia paint line, didn't they? There's a nostalgia paint line out there that looks like the old Citadel paints. I'm pretty sure it's probably just a coat of arms with a relabeling. I'm pretty sure. But it's still funny. But yeah. Cyclone 8974. Wow. Yeah, the Necrons, they're fantastic. And I like those blades. Heretic Scott, Lewis. Lewis has been showing us his Necrons for a while now. And yeah, last one was the Destroyer you showed us. And of course, the warriors all have look like they're assembled from different different Necrons and things like that. Yeah. Cyclone. I don't think that's a good idea. Dr. Santos, episode 298. I refer to myself as Old Balls. Old Balls. Yeah, Bubonic Brown, right? Titillating Pink. Chaos Black, Mithril Silver, Bronzed Gold. I'm trying to think of some other names. Snakebite Leather. Goblin Green, yes. James Kent, yeah. Goblin Green, definitely, man. Right? Oh, man. Just hitting all the feels. And the thing is, I've mentioned this before in the past. The only color of new paints that reminds me, as soon as I smell it, it reminds me of those old paint sets, is typhus corrosion. Typhus corrosion, for whatever reason, it smells how I remember how those old Citadel paints smell. For whatever reason. None of the other paints have that smell. And I've smelt them, pretty much all of them. And yeah, but typhus corrosion has that smell. Like the old Citadel paints. Where's my typhus corrosion? Right there. Yeah. Let's give this a mix. And you know what? I'm gonna give it a sniff right now so I can just blast myself with nostalgia. Just all over my face. Just blast that nostalgia all over the place. Yeah, it smells like the old Citadel paints. Why is that? That's weird. That's weird. Or is it weird to sniff the paint? Oh, man. Goblin Green bases Cyclone. Yeah, don't laugh. My army, I have all Goblin Green. And in fact, I've done new models, and they have Goblin Green rims on the bases. Because, you know, I've been painting my army since Goblin Green was still kind of the norm for doing the rim of your bases. Oh, man. James the Kid, off to sniff corrosion. Jabba's Left Nut. I still use Mithril Silver for highlighting silver. There we go, right? Christian Hoffman. I'm surprised they didn't bring back Goblin Green as a name for the contrast. I reckon they're saving that one for something big, like a new basing paint, which is a mix of sand and green paint. Yeah, they could. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring up Goblin Green and it's a basing like a GW Technical. Yeah. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. I gave my typhus a sniff once. How did you guys even paint back then? Nick Marshaw, blast that nostalgia from your old balls. Oh, man. Jeez Louise. What time are we at here? Holy cramoles. We got 7 minutes left of the show here. And I still have, I think 2 more emails to do. Oh, man. Fire Dragon, I still have and use paint from the 90s. Yeah, I don't really use my paints. I hang on to them for sentimental reasons. But, I have, I still have, a hexagonal. When Citadel went hexagonal for their paints. Here. I still have, and I had to relabel them because I just used, tape. But, I still have tons. And this is the old Citadel orange ink. This was from the Expert set. Yeah. What's this one? That's a hexagon. Oh, here. Old. And I used to use this a lot. You can barely see it still sitting there. But you can hear it. Sloshing around in there. Yeah. What else we got here? I thought I still had one. Yeah. I still have. And I could, like I said, because I had to relabel my paints, but I don't know if this is still. No, this might be dried. Oh, no. Oh, no, it still runs. It's just, there's not very much left of it. Oh, man. Yeah, see, man, jeez, these old paints. I might have to get myself some coat d'arms. I think I have to give this a little bit of a shake, but this is my old snakebite leather. I had to relabel it, of course, because the labels came off. Because back in the day, it was just like a simple little product code number, and it was a name, and that was the old label, and it just used to peel off the bottles all the time. Because, you're obviously holding these and shaking them, and, the labels wear off, right? But yeah, this is my old snakebite leather. Yeah. That's old snakebite leather right there. There you go. Anyway. Enough nostalgia. Heretic Scott, you sent the plate in Discord. Awesome. Old balls. We're still talking about old balls? Heretic Scott. I need to get a Lazy Susan or something to get all their details. Oh, do a video and just show all the things? Yeah. Or just take a bunch of series of pictures and then put it together as a little GIF kind of thing. That'd be kind of cool. Nick Marchand, I miss the days of skull mixing balls. When you're done with the paint, you had cool skulls for the basing. Oh, yeah, somebody did that. Wasn't that Reaper? Didn't Reaper used to put little skulls in the paint pots? Something like that. Dark Commission, found my 30-year-old oil paints when I moved house 2.5 years ago, and they're still good. Well, oil paints will last. Oil paints, as long as no air gets to it, yeah, they'll last for a long time. That's why they paint in oils, right? Because it lasts. Fire Drake Dean, someone is still making those colors? Yeah. From what I understand, and I have no experience in this because I've not tried them out myself. And in fact, I think when I have a bit of extra cash, I think I will probably make an order for a set or two. But apparently, Cote d'Arms, they produce colors that are the old Citadel variety, and it even come in bottles that look like that. And yeah, and then apparently they were the ones who produced the colors for Games Workshop. As the story goes, I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard. So yeah. Anywho, let's finish off emails because we can and we shall. And so here is one from James. Morning, Kris. Some work in progress of the Corpse Grinder Blood Bowl Chaos Warrior conversions. Oh, yeah. I was going to do something subtle, then remembered that it's Chaos and Blood Bowl, so subtle would be a dumb choice. Still lots of fur to sculpt, and they're only tacked together, but these are the 3 so far, and still trying to decide a paint scheme. Criticisms welcomed, of course. Take it easy. Take it easy? You take it easy. Tell me what to do. And so here, yeah, see, okay, so yeah, because we were talking about because he wants to convert the Corpse Grinders into a Blood Bowl team, and I was recommending that he take off little techno bits, but otherwise everything else on the Corpse Grinders would be mostly appropriate, other than like little techno bits, right? And so the Corpse Grinders only have just the little doodads right on their back, but otherwise they're just big muscly dudes, and I like the blades and spikes coming out of them. Very, very interesting. I think the spike probably could have started up on that plate up on right behind the head and then come down through the center. And then, but that works fine as well. I mean, I don't know if you want to go for symmetry or what have yous. He's got a big pinchy claw. He's got spikes coming out his knees. Yeah, if you're going to sculpt fur, you probably could probably, like on the armor and the knee pads, you see how they have the grooves in them? What if you used a bit of your sculpting material, whatever you use to sculpt, and fill those in and make those look like solid plate? You know what I mean? Or shave them down. Well, not the knee pads. The knee pads, should fill them in so you have something solid there. But like that shoulder armor, you can knock those little 3 bars off and go for a solid plate on that armor, right? Ooh, I like the skull in the back. Little horns and spikies. Yeah, all those armor plates, I'd make them look like solid armor if you're so inclined. I mean, if we're still in the converting phase. Ooh, the butcher. Big crazy arms. I think I would lop the hand off and use the butcher's arm as opposed to using, it looks like a Space Marine or Chaos Space Marine arm. I would just use the hand. Lop the hand off, use the butcher's arm, and put that hand in its place. Yeah, I wouldn't use the Space Marine's armor. Or the Chaos Marine, whatever it is. Yeah. And same thing with like his thigh pads. Yeah, I would fill those grooves in. So it looks like a solid plate of armor. Go for simpler. And also it'll be easier for you to paint. And you can also paint your team numbers on them. And, possibly a logo or what have you. Or just fill them in and cover them, splatter them with blood or whatever. I love these Corpse Grinder models. They're really cool. I like the Corpse Grinders. They're fun. Whoop. 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 There we go. Whoop. That was the last one. Is that the last one? Well, we didn't get to see. Did we? Ugh. There we go. Sorry. I might as well just change cameras, for God's sakes. I'm messing this all up. But anyway, thank you, James, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. And very, very cool. Really quickly here, what time? Oh, we're 2 o'clock, so we better hurry up and get this done here. James and Kent, best conversions ever. Send that guy a whiskey. I'm sculpting the fur right now and was considering filling in those gaps. Yeah, I would. I'd fill those gaps in. Make the armor, or like on the shoulder armor, you could probably just lop them off and just smooth it down so it looks like a solid plate of armor, or just fill it in and make it look like a big plate of armor or whatever, right? But yeah, I would make the armor on them, like anywhere that looks complex, I'd make it look simple. And I think that might work better for the Blood Bowl setting and making these guys look more fantasy-like rather than, really highly detailed. They don't have to look very highly detailed, especially since it's supposed to look like padding or whatever, right? So, yeah. Aaron Seach, nostalgia money shot. Instead of paint, you should try sniffing Tester's plastic cement. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the stuff that comes in that orange tube. Oh, definitely. Just, I think I picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue. Ebb and Flow, I have a bunch of P3 paints that I got from a pal 13 years ago, and they're still in rotation. Yeah, well, because apparently the rumor is that those P3 paints are one of those early GW manufacturers, and they just started producing the colors. And I like P3 paints because their colors are a little bit different from everything else, and so, you know, and it's really fun with other paint lines is that sometimes they create shades of color that are just off from another brand's paint line, and so you can create, you know, the steps of highlighting or shading that you need across, you know, multiple paint lines. And water-based acrylic paints, they're pretty much water-based acrylic paints. There's really very little difference. And, you know, you can just, you know, do it and, you know, it'll be fine, right? So, yeah. But I'm sorry, I'm just checking things here. Another email. This one should go by pretty darn quickly. This is from our buddy Nicholas. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that my daughter does movie effects as a hobby. You asked me to send over some pics, so here they are. She is only 14, and we are very happy she found something she really enjoys. And from the thumbnail, holy carmoly. Oh, wait. Jeez Louise. Does that hurt? My God, man. That's gross. That's gross. That's nasty. That's really good, though. It's good work. Oh, different angle. Yeah, when you have a little bit more shadow inside the wound, it makes it look worse. Like the effect of it. Like, it looks realer, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. I don't know. I don't know how to judge special effects other than, ooh, it works, and that looks real. That's really good stuff, though. That's gross, and I'm saying that as a positive, that it's gross. But thank you for sending that, Nicholas. Man, it was making me a little queasy. No, come on. Kris has made a sterner stuff than that, for God's sakes. A little bit. Alrighty, this is our last email. This one is from our buddy Christian Hoffman. Christian Hoffman, I think that's a relatively new name. I don't know how long you've been around. I mean, you might have been lurking, or you're lurking in the shadows for a long time, but but either way, it's great to see an email from you, Christian. I almost said Nicholas. Anyway. Hi, Kris. I thought I'd share some recent work with you. Was inspired to grab these guys after watching your series on them, and I present to you my Corpse Grinder Swampers. Cool. I'm really happy with the atmosphere I've portrayed with them and the picture of them scavenging through the swampy wasteland for metal and rotten flesh. Really experimented with oil wash on these, and a lot of work was done by texturing the models prior to priming. Interesting. Crackle textures on the flesh and corrosion on the metals and armor. Interesting. Hope you enjoy. Would love your CNC. Those guys were finished in no time. Well, yeah, because it sounds like you did like a lot of the work beforehand, right? So let's have a look at his swampy corpse grinders. Ooh, these guys are scary. The guy in the middle there without it, like the with the bald head, that's freaky. That looks like he almost looks like a burn victim or something. Can we zoom in and get some good picture? Yeah, like this guy here. Oh man, that is freaky looking. And so you were laying down the texture paint beforehand, before laying the paint down. That is very, very interesting. It also, like on this guy here on the left, on his flesh, it gives him that, like, kind of like he's got pox and radiation and just that, you know, really freaky deaky kind of look. The butcher, of course, is just drenched in blood. It's kind of hard not to drench him in blood, but I get it. Yeah, these look really good, dude. And yeah, I bet it's no time to get them. Now, you said there was crackle medium on the flesh. I didn't quite see that. Like I can see obviously the little texturing paint on the armor and everything, but I don't quite see the crackle medium, or is it on these guys? Oh, okay, yeah, like Buddy on his chest here. Very, very interesting. That's very interesting. I'm not gonna lie, and it gives him a really interesting look. Now, mind you, with their flesh tones, I kind of wish there was a bit more separation from the flesh and their cloth, because they almost like, well, at least in camera or on the pictures here, they almost look like of a similar value, and I wish there was a bit more separation of their flesh tones and the cloth tones, right? Obviously, staying within a very light color palette, obviously, plays into the excessive blood that's on them, which I'm all for. But yeah, I kind of wish the flesh was a little bit more defined, even on the other guys, the cutters and stuff. The bases are really interesting too. You've used that material to give you that swampy, slimy, rusty look. But I really dig it on this guy on the left here. I can see it on his chest, the crackle medium. I don't really see it on anybody else though, but on him, well, I guess on Buddy on the far left, you can kind of see it too. But yeah, it's a really great idea for going for like almost, they're almost like the old scavies, right? The old scavies in Necromunda. I don't know if you played old Necromunda, but the scavies, they were kind of mutants and everything like that, and some of them had like scaly skin and everything like that, and that looks very subtle. And at first you probably don't notice it, but then when you really examine it, you see all that little breaking up on them. Very, very interesting, man. That is very, very cool. Christian Hoffman, thanks, Kris. The bases are basically a thick application of oil paints. Oh, okay, that's what that is. Oh. Fire Drake, the butcher spilled something on his face. Yeah, just a little. He's like, do I got something here? I might have dropped something. The one with just the red of his face, the one butcher or cutter, yeah, that is freaky looking, man. And I like the guy with the hood, how you got just a little bit of splatter on his helmet, or his hood, his helmet. You know what I mean? Really fantastic stuff. I think the flesh should be just a little bit more defined. There should be just a little bit more. I don't want to say more browns or anything like that, because you want to go for that really sickly look. So maybe more like maybe a greeny brown. That would look like the armor. Maybe more of a purpley blue in the flesh. Just a hint of it. Very, very thin. Just in the recesses kind of thing. Just do like a slight shade wash just to change the value of their skin tones. Make them look a little bit more, maybe a little bit more asphyxiated kind of thing. Yeah. I really dig that, though. Thank you for sending that in, Christian. That's really, really fun stuff. I like that. It's freaky, man. It's freaky, and I dig freaky. And I like when people are willing to go outside the norms and do something interesting, right? And yeah, so thank you for sending that in. That is everybody today. And we are 9 minutes over time, so we are going to end the show there. So we talked a little bit about the big reveal today. We did some emails, and I hope y'all are going to enjoy the rest of your day. If you're brand new to this hobby, need some help with the color scheme, particular techniques got you troubled, or you just want to show off what you're working on, send your submissions to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links off to other sites, because I'm just not going to do it. And of course, feel free to send me whatever you're working on. In the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness. Has links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's been a lot of fun. It's been fantastic. And it's a great way to stay in touch with you guys 24/7. And everybody's posting in there 24/7 because the monkeys are all over the planet. And so everybody's at different time zones. So usually somebody at some point is going to post something talking about something. So feel free. Something about something about something. Where about something. So yeah. So join us on Discord. Of course, on wayofthebrush.com also has links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you've purchased yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine because it's nice to put a name to the face and a face to the name. So please feel free to do that. I fully encourage it. A tasteful photo. I can't believe I have to include this, but let it be tasteful. Wayofthebrush.com also has a link for Patreon. Patreon support. You want to help the channel, help me continue to do what I do, which is educate and inform and sometimes entertain. Patreon is how I do it. I'm independent these days, and so this is how I keep living this dream as it is. And so you want to help contribute and help me continue to do this and continue to create videos, fresh tips, getting projects done, game night Mondays, what else are we doing here? Showcase videos, and any other odds and end videos that I do. Just if you're a fan of the channel, Patreon is how it's going to happen. So huge thank you to all my patrons who currently support me. Again, we've come so far, and I'm hoping we go a little further. And there's varying tiers to support at, so huge thank you. If you're not able to support monetarily, clicking thumbs up, liking, following, ringing the bell, subscribing, and of course sharing the video all help as well. And it doesn't cost you anything. It only takes a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out tremendously. So always much love for that. Big thank you to Carl, aka Guymere Alfer, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. Always take time to thank Carl for making the email jingles that play before the email segments. And so always much love for him. And of course, speaking of love, big thank you to my dear brother Evan for creating the intro and outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. Always much love for him because he's currently working on something. I don't know what he's making, but it might be music. He's really talented, and he's really clever, and he's good for a laugh. But the thing is, though, even though I do love him, I don't take back all the times that I punched him. Especially when he was a little guy. I just wail on him. No, I don't think I ever wailed on him. Because there's a bit of a difference in age between us. That'd have been just mean. I think I'm damn near 10 years older than him. 9? 8 or 9? 9. And they've just been mean. Be like a 13-year-old beating up a 2-year-old. Come on. Nobody's that big a jerk. Anyway. I think we're done. Ghost Star Man Deluxe cranked out the last big chunk of my dark uprising scenery. Now I just got the little accessory sprue to cut out, and hopefully I'll get it painted fairly soon. Awesome. Yeah, I ordered mine. I ordered my dark uprising finally, and so yeah, I ordered the box. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and I actually have some ideas that I want to do. So look forward to that, and especially when I'm following through with those ideas for the terrain, definitely. And also I'm going to do something for the enforcers. So expect that soon. Fire Drake 18 OSL tutorial incoming. OSL on what? Like just generic OSL or just a pep talk on OSL? Like, come on. I tell you guys all the time, you guys got to be specific with Kris because there's so much rattling around up here that you've got to be specific. What bit of information do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Aaron Seach, love the flesh tones. If you could get the crackle medium to open up a bit more, you could also make it look like the flesh is oozing pus. Great work. Yeah, you get like Nurgle's Rot, which is a real fun technical just for creating that, really fast, pussy like material. Ugh. Yeah, I'm getting a little wheezy now. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I need to get some metallic spray because fuck painting painting it all by brush. Yeah, exactly right. Alrighty, folks, we are done for the day. I want you guys to take it easy, and of course, if you're dissatisfied with the current state of things, write to your congressman, and hopefully we will all get together and play together soon enough. Maybe we'll meet up at a convention and have some laughs, have a drink, and yeah. Later, bitch hogs. What? What does that mean? I don't know. Anyway, bitch hogs. I'm still kind of cracking up about that. Bitch hogs? Bitch hogs? Hansel? Oh, fire drinking generic for Kingdom Death, I guess. Oh, like generic OSL. I got you. Okay. No. I hear you. I understand where you're thinking. I got you, man. I got you. I hear you. And yeah, we will. I do have a model that'd actually be really good for that too from Kingdom Death. But I also have another one that it could, but not really. It's the Ammo Slave. It's a little girl. She's got the backpack and she's got ammo and she's like bound. Yeah. I saw that one. I was like, oh, I have to get that because, tying people up, right? I gotta stop the show. I gotta stop. Just remember, be a force for positive. Include people into your games. Include people into your world. Give somebody a hug. Give somebody a compliment. Whatever it is. Just be a force for positive in this world because there's so much negative shit out there. Yeah. Just need a little bit more. Just a little bit more positivity, Just a little bit. Or just hold your tongue. If you can't be positive, just hold your tongue. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say what was ever on your mind that you were going to say, oh, she looks fat, Don't say it. Just don't say it. Just keep it to yourself, If you can't be positive, just keep it to yourself. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you, and I will see you guys. I will. Well, it's a pretty definitive statement, right? I will see you. We'll see you guys next week. Actually, no, I'll be streaming Monday, game night. Be playing with my brother. Speaking of brothers and music. Segue.